Well, hello there. Welcome to the stream, Magic Monsters. It's an exciting day for you and for me, and we all know why. Today is the day that all the delivery drivers have to get your signature as you get a new phone. Here's the deal. I got a new phone today. I haven't had a new phone in quite a few years. Quite a few years. I got good use out of the last one. So I just got this new phone, and now my lights, my hue lights in the background aren't working. They're just failing to connect over and over. It's very disappointing, and I'm sure that's exactly what you wanted me to talk about on this stream. Oh well, so I'll have to figure that out. So you don't get my nice purple lights behind me. I've been forgetting to put them on anyways for the past few weeks, actually, now that I think about it. I don't know exactly why. I just haven't been. I've been working on this North Star system. Got the demo scene working now. The last stream, the last video stream. I don't know. I was adding this where you can get these pickups, and if you get close enough, you can do pickups and, pick them up. And after a while, they get picked up, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So there's lots of good stuff going on here with the North Star system. And if you step away, it stops, all that good stuff. So I've been doing the documentation for that. But I think today I was just going to, it's been a long week. I'm a little tired. Kind of have to go to the store. But I wanted to do a little bit of work on this after the day job ended. This is Legend of the Stones. Hello, Pavel. How are you? Have you had any eggs recently for food? Because Legend of the Stones, yo, what's up? Legend of the Stones is a game about the little people. It's about a party of adventurers who travel the land and learn about the stones. What is the Legend of the Stones? Well, you'll have to play the game to find out. And the game is coming out very soon in Q5 20 something. And it's going to be very fun. You'll be able to attack these flying eyes. They'll actually pay attention to you soon enough. That's part of why I wanted to kind of continue working on. But we've got the depth of field working now. So as you get close to things, the depth of field will just change automatically. Whoa. There's one. Apparently I can get too close to them. Like, way too close to them. But generally they'll keep their distance from the player too. That's part of the logic there, is that they'll keep the distance from the player. But so yes, you gotta make these pick upable, so where you can kind of click on them and pick them up or something. Stuff like that. Oh, scrambled eggs, fine. Scrambled eggs are good if they're well cooked. They have to be well cooked. I like my scrambled eggs with cheese and on bread, so basically a grilled cheese sandwich. Or if you have a Denny's near you, a Moon's over my hammy. If you know what I'm talking about, cheers to you. So I actually set up these flying eyes very quickly, because I really was making a demo video for North Star, and I wanted to display all that stuff, and then I was making for the, not a tutorial video for the depth of field. It's on YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you're on my YouTube already, so, but if you go to my YouTube video clips, you can see those. But, so I don't know if this is how I really want to do the NPCs, but I think it might be. I've got my NPCs here, so the enemies are NPCs, villagers are NPCs, they're just NPCs. Whether they're enemies or not, I don't know. That's up to the game, I suppose. Are we in the right? No, I want to open this up in the version that has the AI. So JetBrains, I understand that maybe it's no longer available for people. It's on waitlisted now, but where are we? Legend of the Stones. But this has the AI in it, and I like the AI. It's my friend. We hang out. We play board games together. Here, let me move my Kleenex box somewhere else. Do I have any other NPC stuff here? I've got NPC movement. I've got wander. Wander is an eye movement behavior. NPC has a current state of eye movement behavior. And I think, what was I doing? I think when they wander this, so the wander would have it has this tick. This tick gets called from NPC movement, which is look for player, current state dot tick. And if we're looking, and we look for the player, and we set player detected, etc. This I need to add something because being detected isn't necessarily a bad thing. If it's an NPC who doesn't care about the player, they go about their normal actions. If it's an NPC who does care about the player but won't attack the player, then maybe they go up to the player to say, "Hey, I've been looking for you," and then an enemy would attack the player. And so, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, so we got NPC movement. I guess what I can add is an enemy movement, which would inherit from NPC movement and then override set player detected to do something else. Yeah, I don't need to do that. I'll just do, because, okay. Actually, maybe if any of you smart coder people are watching, as opposed to the unsmart coder people who usually watch, you know what I mean? Just kidding, you're all smart coder people. What would you do? I've got, so my thinking here is like an NPC movement, and one option, I could create an enemy movement, which handles things slightly differently. Or, I've got wander right here as one state. I can make another state called enemy sighted, or something, or a player sighted, and that would handle, for some I could do attacks with it. So I could be like enemy player sighted, or player sighted enemy, where the enemy attacks. Player sighted flying eye, I could do that. So the flying eye has its own special things that it does. And in some cases, the player sighted might be like, I don't care, switch back to wander. So I guess that's probably the better way of doing it, is just handling it by creating some generic eye movement behavior methods, like wander, where they just wander. That's what they have now. They're just wandering. And then specific ones for each type of character. So an enemy would do the whole I'm chasing the player, etc. I mean, it's basically a behavior tree, right? But without having a tree. Maybe I should just use an asset for this. But you know me. I like to make my own assets. So how do you like them assets? Well, I think refactoring is a part of life. So let's see. Let's start by just going with a enemy detected, or not enemy. I keep saying enemy, player detected or player seen behavior. Oh yeah, and the whole reason why I need all this was for this script. This is the script with North Star that looks for player movement, NPC movement rather, and sees if the player's detecting turns the things red. That was the only reason I did all that. But I knew I needed to do it eventually anyway. So, just helping myself out for the future. So now we have wander. I'm going to create a new one. Do I have other? I don't have. What's wander state? I think that's completely different. All right, so we're going to create a new script, and we're going to call this player scene. Wander, or we'll say aware of player. And I think by default, we're just going to do nothing. We're basically gonna go back and do wander. So wander is, we'll put it in the namespace, Legend of the Stonies. I do wonder what the Legend of the Stones is. Do you think I've actually thought about it? I may have. I could be lying to you, suggesting that I haven't thought about it. So we're going to do this, and this is the vanilla version. So I'm trying to think, because some characters won't care about the player. Like, let's assume these flying eyes, which obviously are going to try to shoot laser beams at the player. Let's assume that they don't care about the player. So when they're aware of a player, well, I guess we can avoid that. Hey, Jack, how are you? Refactoring is something you should factor in. It's pretty funny. I like it. So is my sidekick, the dragon. So I think instead, I was about to think, how can I make the aware of player go back to wander? But the real thing is here, cares about player is the real thing. So we can do public bool cares about player equals false. Or we'll make it true. Most things are we'll make it false. If it cares about the player, then we do something. So what we can do here is when we do tick 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 tick. It's not wander. Sorry, I'm in the wrong class for this. Not in the wander class. In the NPC movement class, we can say. Header options cares about player equals false, and then we can go down to our look for player in our update, and in our look for player, if did I already do this? Fucking shit, I may have already done it. I already did it. Well, this is what I get for doing a week off of not looking at this. Wander plus eyes equals wander vision. Well, Jack, you're on a roll today, aren't you? Aren't you? Jesus. Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, so apparently I already did this. So we look for the player right here. If you turn that off, then it won't look for the player. So let's just turn that off. We'll apply all, and that means these icons that were turning red before, when they see the player, will no longer turn red. That's the idea here, because they're no longer going to look for the player. Therefore, they're never going to detect the player, because they don't care about the player. There you go. Now, you might want them to care about the player. Let's say if I attack it, I bump into it or something. Now it might care about the player and decide, oh, I don't like this. I'm gonna shoot laser beams at you. So then you can set that value to be now look for player, and then they'll see the player and do something like shoot laser beams. All right, so that solves that problem. This new phone, I have to say, this new phone confused me. I turned, my friend Oren e-bike. Ooh, did you make a mistake? I turned my phone off, but it's got those freaking always on display, which my last phone, because it's older, didn't have that. And I turned it off, and I was like, wait, no, turn off. And it wouldn't turn off. I don't even know if I want the always on display. Do you guys all have an always on display on your phone, and do you like it? It feels like I don't want it. Like I don't want it always on. It's just going to distract me. I don't know. Maybe I'm too easily distractible. All right, so we have the NPC movement. We have the wander. We have whether or not they care. They're looking for the player. In this case, we do want this to look for the player. So we'll reapply that to be all. We'll make a new script aware of player. So is that the right name? Aware of player as a eye movement behavior? I think it probably is. Because we're going to have an override that's going to be enemy aware of player or aware of player flying eye or something like that. So we're going to make these protected and virtual on all of these. So, well, I guess public virtual. Yeah, so not protected. Public virtual. In fact, I should do that while I'm here to the wander ones as well. This one's going to be protected virtual. I'm going to try to spell things right, but no guarantees. Public virtual. That way I can always override these, right? I think the rest are all private, so we'll just do this. I can always override these for specific characters. Most of them will do very much the same thing, but every once in a while we might have one character that is, you know, special for some reason, thinks they're all that, and they need some special logic to handle their situation. Most of them, I mean, some of them might have on behavior enter. So like the flying eye, actually, we can actually make use of this. So if we look at the flying eye and their animator, they have a value, or they have a, let me do it here. They have an alert level here, and do they have, and they have an alert thing. So I can just call alert on them when they enter that state. And do we have an alert? We don't have an off alert. All right, so what we'll do is, okay, so we have NPC, we have our, I'm going to make an override of it, so I'm not going to add it. We have our aware of player. I'm going to make a duplicate of this. I'm not really going to duplicate. I'm going to create a new script. I'm going to call this aware of player flying eye. And we'll just copy all this over and then just do this flying eye and be override here. Oh yeah, it's going to be aware of player. All right, and override the tick to maybe. I don't know if we're gonna. Yeah, we're actually gonna end up making this like an enemy. I think the first step is actually to do an enemy. So let's do that. Because a lot of enemies are gonna have the same logic. You know, attack, attack, attack. But so we're gonna say aware of player enemy, and whoopsie doopsie. Do. And so this is going to be enemy, and then yeah, we'll do that. Flying eye is going to be aware of player enemy. So the enemy is going to have the tick. I don't know if we're going to override the tick on the flying eye, but we will. Oops, I did the wrong one. But we will override the on player or on behavior enter, and we're going to make a new private method. I'm going to type a method. Private void. Actually, it's going to be an enumerator, and it's going to be calm down and yield return new wait for seconds. Just yield return break, I guess. Whoops. Ooh, sorry about that, everybody. I just hit the microphone with my hand. Yield return null. there we go. So on behavior enter, I'm going to do a couple things here. NPC movement, do we have the animator up here? We do. So wander, how do we get NPC movement again? Set NPC. I'm just going to copy a bunch of this stuff. And I guess this is telling me I'm about to duplicate some code. So this is telling me that I need to do something different. So I'm going to create another new script. Yeah, another one. We're going to say this movement behavior. I'm going to type it with like the mono behavior. So I'm going to make this the eye movement. And then we're going to do this. And we're going to do the namespace. Legend of the Stones. Okay. And then wander is going to be a movement behavior, and aware of player is going to be a movement behavior. And these are going to be overrides now, and wander is going to make those override as well. Okay, and then set NPC is going to be up on here instead. And so instead we're going to do base dot tick NPC. And then set NPC, we're going to move that up to here. And that means we need all these values for the NPC. I'm going to get those and put them up here. This is good. Cannot access a private, so we need this to be protected, I believe. Why is this giving me a thing? Now it wants it to be NPC. Now all these are going to be protected. NPC, NPC zone, NPC local scaly. NPC transformers more than meets the eye. Transform. Okay. So now we can call base tick from aware of player as well. And so that will also get the NPC. This NPC will do that. And then that means on eye movement behavior, we're going to call this NPC, this NPC, this NPC. Whoops. Let me do it like this. This NPC, this NPC, this NPC. All right. Okay, that should be good. So we have all that. Now we also need to get this animator and other things up as well. I'm going to move my hashed names of animator strings or whatnot up as well. We're going to move all of this up really, because these are values that are going to be used in many states. So they can be set there. Import this, import that. So I'm going to give myself some notes here too. This is going to be NPC plumbing. And this is going to be movement movement privates. Okay, we'll call this privates. NPC privates. Eee. Scandalous. I mean, I guess if it's private, then this can't access it. So that's why we have to do protected. Okay. Velocity. Smooth delta position. All right. And then the other thing is goals. So my thinking here is when you wander, you have a goal. Yeah, when you get to your goal in half a second up to 5 seconds, or you can set that in the inspector. At some point after you get to your goal, the character will find a new goal between min and max distance away from their current position, so long as it's within their NPC zone, and then do that. So this value can be local to wander. Yeah, this is going to be local to wander. So I'm going to create a header here. Header wander settings. And we can move this up because this can be reused multiple times. And then this part can be moved up here as well. Movement goal position. Okay. Okay, that should work, I think. So now this just only has the stuff it actually cares about. Now aware of player has the same stuff. Let's just confirm that things are still working as expected, because they may not be. I feel like I've been watching live streams all day long. What about you? While working. And in a way, the live streams was work, I suppose. All right, so they're still working. They're still... You can see the red means they can see the player. They don't react to it yet, even though this guy went right up to me. I think I have to increase their colliders, or the navigation collider. But they react. They're kind of tweaking out a little bit, aren't they? It looks like it when they start moving, they kind of like jitter. It's probably a navigation issue. Yeah, with the nav mesh. It's like gibbering with the nav mesh or something, but I'll have to figure that out. So that's working, basically. There's no errors, so that's good. So now we get aware of player. All right, so now in our wander, we have our method. Where is it? Oh, it's not in wander. It's in NPC movement. We look for player. Well, you know what we need is a whole... I can add it later, but we're going to need a whole, like, movement can move type of... Oh, we have can move. What the heck? Or some method of, like, when to turn off this entire loop, but that's fine. So look for player current state tick. If we're not looking for the player, then we just keep wandering. Yep. And otherwise, we look for the player. Set player detected. False. Set player detected. Set player detected. And on this, set movement behavior to the new one. Follow state. Oh, I called it follow? Wait a minute. What am I doing here? Oh. Okay, so we're going to change this to aware of player state. Because not everything's going to follow the player. Some things might follow, some things might not. And that's a good question, though. Well, I suppose something that's aware of the player might choose to follow the player and change to a follow state. So maybe we'll end up having a follow state or a chase state. You could call chase instead of follow, because follow does imply like you're just following them. Chase means you're trying to catch up to them. And when you do catch up to them, you do something else. Whatever that might be. Have I mentioned I'm tired? I think I did at the beginning, so I'm okay there. All right, so don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. Don't forget, like, thumbs up. So in our aware of player, for this one, we're just going to do the base tick, like, I don't know. What do we do with the basic aware of player? For the basic one, we just stare at the player. There's no movement. We just stare at the player. So we stop movement. So let's do a new NPC movement. Do we have a... We don't have a stop movement. Stop navigation move nav mesh movement. Stop all navigation movement. Let's see if the AI can help us out here. It's stopped equals true. Reset path. I don't think we need to say. We don't need to do that. Maybe it's just reset path. We'll try that. We'll just try reset path. So now that means when we enter aware of player in the default view, we're going to say NPC dot stop movement. Make this public. And then look at player. Protected override void, or virtual void rather. Look at player. And we're going to do npc.transform.look at player. Do we have a reference to the player in NPC movement, or do we have player? Girls is players too. Do you know that song? Girls as Players Too. I need to get a reference to the player. Could probably. Other things are going to need to know the player. So I think what we need, in a way, is just the player to be kind of broadcasting itself. We have 2 of these. We don't need 2 of those. So I think what we'll do is create here a new C# script. We're going to call this player object and put in namespace legend of the stones, and inside legend of the stones here we're going to do a public player instance, or sorry, player object instance, and then instance equals this. But we're going to also do if instance equals null, then instance equals this. Otherwise, else, it's public static. Otherwise, destroy game object and return. Right? And then here we're going to have the public transform. Transform is going to be game object.transform. Oops. Wrong way. I guess it doesn't, yeah, that doesn't, that's redundant. Okay, so we've got our reference to that in theory. NPC movement then we'll do using static player object. And so our property for this is going to be public player object. It's going to be player object at instance, and okay, there we go. Can we do it like that, or is that going to be player? All right. And then public player transform, or transform player transforms player transform. Okay. And then we go back to our aware of player, and we can say look at npc.playerTransform.position plus vector 3 up, npc local scale. No, just vector 3 up. Public static. Do we have a static reference to the camera? Because actually we really want to be looking at the camera so the player feels like they're being looked into their soul. We might have one. Do we? We don't have one. All right, so the player object then, we will add to this a public game object camera. It does. Player camera. All right. And what we'll do here in our aware of player, look at NPC dot player dot player camera dot transform dot position. That's a lot of things. That's a lot of dots. So what we're going to do here instead, say NPC. Where are we going to put it? Player. It's player object. And we're going to do public transform camera. Actually, yeah. Do vector 3 camera position, and this is going to be player camera dot transform dot position. All right. And then we will go to our aware of player, and we'll just say look at that, or NPC dot player dot camera position. Okay. And we don't need the vector 3 up. We're just going to look at that. We'll refactor this to make it smoothly look at. We don't want it to snap. Now they're going to be, to see the player, they have to be kind of looking in that direction anyways, but in the future you might have a thing where they can hear the player, right? And so they turn around. So we'll fix that in a bit, but let's just make sure this is working first. All right, that was a lot. We did a lot. I'm going to do some overrides here, or save the overrides rather. Apply the overrides, and then attach the camera to the player object. And then for the enemy here, we've got our wander. We need to add our aware of player. Now we're only. Let's add the aware of player flyer and eye. We'll move it up so it's right after wander. I feel like goal position and has goal should actually be on NPC movement. Really, right? Because otherwise I'd have to like pass these back and forth. I mean, I suppose when it gets aware of player, it might get a new goal. And we'll just put that in the on state enter, on behavior enter rather. All right, that's fine. We'll just do this for now. All right, is this good? Overrides apply all. And then on our NPC movement, get component aware of player. I think that will work. Let's see. We have some null reference exceptions. By some, I mean a lot. These is per frame. On animator move in wander is null reference now. Oh, we did move, but this should have happened earlier, I would think. Let's see. Do we have another null reference earlier that's different? Nope, we don't. Okay. They're all doing the same thing. Saying we're trying to move. We can't do that. Okay. Animator root position. Animator. NPC animator. NPC animator. Get component animator. They do have an animator, right? I didn't remove the animator, right? Yeah, they've got an animator. What are they talking about? Let's see. Do I accidentally destroy the animator? Nope. I don't feel like I changed anything with this. But I did something. Let's see what it said. Oh, so it's not the animator. Okay, so animator's not false. Then why? Why is it giving me a null reference in this line? Let's just see if that gets spat out. I don't know what could be a null reference if it's saying the animator is false and then the same line, which only has the animator being called. All right, that's weird. All right, let's yeah, let's ask the AI. Oh, log into JetBrains. All right, I will. It's taking its sweet time. Continue with JetBrains account. Please close the page and ask away. All right, we're going to ask away. AI actions, new chat with this. The debug line.log shows the position fine and that animator is not null, yet I get a null reference exception on this line. Why might that be? I think this recently got more powerful where you can check this code, but it also looks at the rest of the code. Okay, I will do this part, but I didn't... I wouldn't have expected it to be looking at the other ones. Oops. Whoa. All right. Copy that. Paste that. All right. We'll see if the other ones are null. I would have expected it to happen on a different line if the other ones were null, but maybe for some reason they weren't. They're all false. That is indeed strange. I guess there could be a bug in this. All right. So to check that, we're going to load up the regular writer. Just in case, I suppose. We'll just make a simple change here. Save it out. Load this back up. And let's just do this as one as well to make sure that we do that. That saves and compiles, and then we'll press play again and see if anything changed. Nope. Well, hell. Now it's just one line lower because I did make it one line lower. It's now 85. So I don't know. We were getting the animator and the root position properly. They were both showing up. So, what the hell did I change that would have affected that? Well, let's dig into it because I did change stuff, right? I moved all of these variables up one level to movement behavior, if I'm not mistaken. These are all protected. Not only that, it was working before, right? Before we did all this other stuff. So one of the things I did was saying the state in NPC movement. Oops. To state aware of player. So let's just change that back, see if that does anything. All right. So everything seems to be working fine when we have that. But when we say aware of get component is aware of player, so I'm going to do something debug.log aware of player is null. Make sure we can actually find that. Maybe that's what's going on here. Aware of player is not null. So for some reason, when I have aware of player active, the wander does this. Oh, I think I know. So maybe because on animator move gets called by the animator and this is not live. So do we... Okay, this is what we'll do. movement behavior. We're going to do a new protected bool is active state equals false, and we will do this. Enter is active state equals true, and exit is active state equals false. And then on wander here on 84, if not active state, then return. And base dot on behavior enter, base dot behavior exit, do the same. Well, we don't need to do. We might do a thing. Okay. We might use those. We might not. I don't know. We factor it later. All right. So let's see if this works now. If that solves the problem. Because the on animator move is called from another script. It's called from the animator, I think. And so maybe it's calling that, but the reference has been changed or something. That's my best guess. There we go. Okay. So now those that are aware of the player should be looking at the camera, but they're not. And those that aren't aware of the player should still be moving until they become aware of the player. So this one should have been aware of the player. They're not becoming unaware of the player. They're supposed to become unaware when they can no longer see it, the player. But anyways, all right, so that solves that. I'm going to call this stream. It's been an hour. I just wanted to stream a little bit before, the workday's over for the most part, and so I decided to stream. It's been a long couple weeks, hasn't it? And here we are. So I'll probably stream again tomorrow. I'm going to try to. So check out the Discord to keep up on that. I don't know when, so I'm going to try to stream tomorrow at some point, and do more of this stuff and really do more on the North Star. So if the one for North Star, what I need to do right now is do the documentation. If you go to infinitypbr.com and click on the scripting docs, you can scroll down. It's a lot of game module stuff, but if you scroll on here to tools, you see North Star system, gives you an overview of what it is. Gives some quick start videos. I've already got a quick start video up, how to quickly get started, customizing overriding, some stuff there. So I've been populating this with all the good stuff, but more to be done. Basically, it's not done yet. Coming soon. So there's more to be done. So I need to finish that so I can get North Star out if you'd like to use it. So thanks for hanging out with me. I'm going to call this one a stream, and I hope you have a great weekend if I don't see you again. Later.